Alex here again with my second game journal for Omega Drifters. In the first journal, I didn't really mention it, but the intent of this game is to have either a slow or a turn-based plain text real-time strategy type game. In the future, maybe graphical user interface, but at this point, just plain text like a good old school game. And the idea here is that you're dropping off a base ship on a planet. You've got three AI robots that you can issue commands to. They're supposed to gather resources, scout the planet, potentially attack the enemy that's also there on the planet. Radiation will be degrading all your devices over time. So there's a time limit to all these sessions before everything ceases to function. So you need to get as many resources by gathering them yourself or by stealing them from your enemy and then getting off the planet. And that's the basic idea of the game. So let's take a quick look at the game here. Start here on the main page and gives you a quick overview. It's got a humorous disclaimer. Go on to the launch page and it gives you some of the details of the session you're about to begin. You begin the session, and some of this is just debugging information that I've got here so that I can know what's going on in the game. It won't be there once the game is ready for users. But here you have the resources that your robots can collect and the status of your base ship, technologies that you can upgrade. And so my layouts here is not exactly working correctly, but we have some logging down below so you know what your robots are doing. Each robot will have its statistics, what's going on with the robot, what its current command is, how much creativity it's allowed to have in its command queue. Can it make up its own mind about what's most important to do? Does it strictly follow your directions or somewhere in between? Can be either located at your base ship, collecting resources, could be out scouting in the intermediate territory or in enemy territory. And it gets its work done through drones. So it has war drones for obvious purposes and base drones for gathering resources. I created a simple command form so that I can control the robots directly at this point, just for testing purposes. And that way I can make sure that the logic of the game is working correctly. Later on, this will be a AI chat interface so that you can talk to your robots and build a strategy with them through that chat interface. And that's basically what my game is looking like at this point. Go back to my notes, talk about some of the technical details. So this time around, we have all the HTML published via templates in Django. The base is mostly implemented. That is, it's there, it's functioning, but I'm sure that there will be changes over time as the game develops. So I don't know exactly where I'm going with all of this, but we'll figure it out. And everything's programmatically populated in the template. So it's all done through the logic and the storage, not statically coded anymore. We have sessions implemented. So each user visiting the site is going to have their own game session. And that's how I keep track of which objects are which in the database. I did show you the temporary command console that I created, which half works at this point. There's the advanced game logic function. And this is the main logic tree of the game. This is really kind of where the mechanics of the game live. And so I've been thinking about the concept of it and what each of the different branches of the tree are going to do, depending on the command of the robot. Gathering resources, for example, or scouting that is going to have random encounters, or attacking the enemy, upgrading technology, all those sorts of different things. I have some of that coded at this point. Mainly it just produces logs, doesn't have any actual functionality. And I spent most of my time this week struggling on the Python and Django learning curve. Some background in programming, but pretty out of date. and I've only ever worked on simple projects. So I'm having to adapt my knowledge to new language and kind of learn the Django system. I'm really trying to do things with good coding standards and style. So I'm spending a lot of time learning that and making sure that I'm following that carefully rather than just getting something out there functioning. And maybe I'll be able to maintain it in the future, maybe I won't. Looking ahead, the most important thing right now is to implement the logging function so I can see exactly what's going on with the mechanics of the game. This will be helpful for the player in the future because they need to know what their robots are doing. But just in terms of debugging, that's really helpful. So it kind of serves essential function of the game itself, but also in the development of the game, it's very helpful. I'm going to finish up that logic tree so that the mechanics of the game are actually doing what they're supposed to be doing. There's a little bit of functionality there right now already, but there's much more to go. After that, I'm going to be looking at developing the user interface where you command your robots. And this robot's going to have personality. It's going to be an AI chat function. So they're going to have some real-time communication with the player. And with the robots, the AI robots, you'll develop a strategy that will generate a command queue within the code that's going to have some kind of logic in it so that the robot can not just follow one static command and do that forever till the sun burns out or, well, this game, the game ends. But it can actually adapt to conditions as they change within the game. So that's basically where I'm at this point, and I'll see how much further I can get next week. I want to do another journal. Thanks for watching.